Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
Or are we?
Oh, crazy.
Yes, no, today I bring this up forward. Today we are talking about a film all about mistaken identity, about a film all about mistaken identity. Oh, Christ. We are talking about your second favourite. Oh, yes, we are still in the Hitchcock format. This is our third Hitchcock, and this is your second favourite, and it's Cary Grant, and it's Eva Marie Saint. What is it, Will?
It's North by Northwest.
Incredible.
I'm an advertising man, not a red herring. I've got a job, a secretary, a mother, 2 ex-wives, and several bartenders dependent upon me. And I don't intend to disappoint them all by getting myself slightly killed.
Cary Grant becomes a secret agent against his will, propelled at gunpoint onto the highest level of international intrigue.
Written by Ernest Lehman, and naturally directed by Alfred Hitchcock. The quintessential chase movie. I don't think there's a single chase movie that after North by North. Well, I mean, we're talking. Depends how you want to talk about tone, because I don't think No Country for Old Men does actually take much. It's a very different
movie.
Got it.
Mouse Hunt. That's a great chase movie.
But what about Mouse Trap?
Oh no. Would you call Rat Race that's more of a race than a chase?
That's more of a race. That's it's a mad world. More in that vein, which Ava raves about. She thinks she thinks it'll be one of my favourite films. I've just never gotten around to it. The Blu-ray's £18, so who knows? I might splurge a little one day. There are two camps. People either say it's their favourite film ever, or they say it's terribly long. It's 3 hours and it's a comedy, so that's always something. Do you know the plot of It's a Mad World?
I don't.
It's the 60s. It's a car chase. Well, no, it's a millionaire who dies, who has buried $1 million somewhere, and then every man and his dog goes on a chase, and there's like every person who was alive in 1960 whatever has a cameo. So it does sound right up my alley. As one of the only 20-year-olds who would be like, oh, that's Shirley MacLaine. Yes. Let's see what the YouTube comments say.
And framed for murder. Cary Grant, running for his life, searching for a man who doesn't exist, and a secret nobody knows, and finding a blonde who has all the answers.
Hello there.
Tell me, why are you so good to me?
Shall I climb up and tell you why?
At breakneck speed, they race together toward the excitement that lies dead ahead, north by northwest.
How do I know you aren't a murderer?
You don't.
Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, and James Mason as the man of sinister surprises.
Apparently, the only performance that'll satisfy you is when I play dead.
In your very next role, you'll be quite convincing, I assure you.
The perfect setup for suspense. With the perfect woman and the perfect crime. As Alfred Hitchcock takes you north by northwest.
Just one word to describe this brilliantly directed and played suspense movie. What's that word, Will?
North.
Masterpiece. Yeah. One of the best espionage films of Alfred Hitchcock, I'd have to agree. This movie is awesome. I watched it and I felt like I finished a novel, even though cheesy in a classic way, which always means basically awesome. Vertigo is a tough one, though. It's a very different beasts. I'm not into rap. It says here that even Eminem got inspired by him. Do you know what this Eminem North by Northwest reference may be?
I don't know. I'm presuming it's a song.
Oh,
I don't know. Or a
marvelous
lyric.
classic suave Casanova performance. But do you remember that Cary Grant has got a secretary, mother, 2 ex-wives, and several bartenders dependent on him? I mean, that's just a quote. It's a quote, but they never told us that we were going into a quote. They just started talking about the film. And that's Dr. James Von Dutch. And he continues to give a bit of biography on Cary Grant, who was born in England and changed from his birth given name. Do you know what his given birth name was?
Something Welsh.
Archibald Leach.
Oh.
And
good change.
Yeah. Well, it was because he was Jewish, Will. So you're racist.
Oh, okay.
Good change. I'm glad he did. Yeah, no, that was because of his Jewish heritage, and he obviously thought that he would get further in Hollywood with Cary Grant. You know what my favourite thing is? Where you unintentionally walk into things that I hadn't even set up. I've seen this picture around 8 times all my life, but I never start from the beginning. The police car reminds me, Huckberry Hound police car. I don't understand this person.
Okay,
saying.
yeah.
Just watching this scene gives me vertigo. No pun intended, I swear.
I mean, probably only like the last half hour gives him vertigo, but
who knows? Where are we now? Okay, so North by Northwest, we are following Roger Thornhill, played by Cary Grant, who is an advertising executive who gets mistaken rather brilliantly for George Kaplan. Is this one of the most ingenious setups to a film ever? I mean, we've seen the, mistaken identity thing, but it's usually something a bit more extreme. In this, it is just that so blissfully simple thing. And we hear George Kaplan. Don't take any note of it. Obviously, on a rewatch we do, and then we get that brilliant. Oh, maybe I should call my mother. Waiter, genius.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads us, Will, to your nominations for best 10-minute stretch.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be the crop duster scene.
Yeah,
That's a great 10 minutes.
Crop duster or Mount Rushmore?
Crop duster. I think Mount Rushmore. It's a great finale, but all it is really is a lot of people slowly climbing down and getting pushed off.
Couldn't you say that all the crop duster thing is just a man running about a field?
Oh, but it's great. Yeah, that's great. I like when we first meet James Mason.
Oh, yes.
That's very good.
Games, Mr. Kaplan. Yes, as you preeminated on our last episode, you're just going to do James Mason, aren't you? And I very well might. It's going to be a toss-up between my James Mason or my Martin Landau. Very good. Yes, no, I've got Rushmore. I'm going Rushmore, I think, instead of crop duster. I think overall I think it's more thrilling. I think, well, we'll get to Tom's big question later. I've not put it in change. I've put it in Tom's big question, but we'll get to it. Yes, and then any Mason scene, particularly the first, Mr. Kaplan. George Kaplan. Well, the least I can offer you is that you'll survive the rest of the evening. Wonderful stuff. Into my weirdly specific favorite parts of the film, the credits. I adore these Saul Bass credits. We've watched a few now. I'm obviously we've got Vertigo and Psycho left in this cycle. Where does this rank in your credits for Hitchcock?
Oh, for Hitchcock.
Actually, we've not had the credits conversation yet, have we? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's throw it in.
Surprise.
Top credits of all time.
Oh, you're gonna kill me for this one. I think in my top 3, it's gonna be The Adventures of Tintin.
I really like The Adventures of Tintin.
Fantastic! Oh, it's one of my favorite films of all time. But those opening credits are great.
Yes, they are.
But I mean, you can't mention that opening credits without mentioning Catch Me If You Can.
Excellent, yeah. Great music, great.
I'm not going to mention any of the Star Wars films because all they are is a load of text on your screen slowly fading away.
I'd say they're fairly iconic.
It's iconic.
And I wouldn't say it's a misplaced iconicism. I think it's very well deserved.
Okay.
They are, technically. I mean, you could say that all credit sequences are a bunch of words on a screen. Like, we'll get to Woody Allen over close to just short of 50 films. Not a single one doesn't start with white text on a black, and a little jazz. Oh, you'll see. Oh, I'm very excited for it. Yes, no, I adore this. Matched again with Bernard Herrmann's brilliant theme. I think if we're going to talk about credits of all time, I think we'll get to it obviously next week, but later this week. But Vertigo, I think, is in probably my all-time credits. I really like Watchmen. Watchmen's great. I really like I like the simple ones. I love the simplicity of Silence of the Lambs. That big, bold. While she's on the course.
I think we could mention pretty much all of the Bond movies.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
No.
LA Confidential.
Does it better.
LA Confidential has got a great opening.
LA Confidential is incredible. We're not going to be able to do it directly, but I'm sure inadvertently we will get around to all the movies that we would want to put in a month dedicated to a certain actor. But we might have to go around in different ways. Like Andy, getting rid of the dirt in his shoes. Or just like, Usual Suspects. A bit more dirt. LA Confidential, bit more dirt. Yeah.
The Naked Gun. Taken straight from
that's good.
The police squad. It's just, that's a good opening.
I like 2 and 3 when they get really creative. And there's some crazy ones. Yes. I really like... Batman and Batman Returns. Well, you've got Batman, where it's like where you think you're in like a trench or something, and then it pulls out into the Bat logo. And then obviously Batman Returns, where we're going
in the sewers and
we're going through the sewers. Incredible. Well, most certainly.
I'm sure we will get
that.
To
might
that.
have to be our next month after. We'll do
Batman month.
The Batman, all of them. We'll do them all.
Yeah, you might as well do, because if you just do the good one, they're all great, but you're probably just excluding Batman and Robin and Forever.
Yeah. And they could be funny episodes.
Yeah.
But also, I think if we're going to exclude one, we are excluding Batman versus Superman and
any of the Batfleck films.
Did I tell you about the time I verbally assaulted a child in just a screening of Justice League?
No, but I mean, I can't wait to hear.
I think I'm making it sound a little bit more violent than what it actually was. Now, I was in a rather tumultuous place. I was, just been informed of an impending breakup. And so I thought, okay, right, I'll just clear my head, I'll go watch Justice League. not that I wanted to really
Odd
watch.
choice.
Not that I really wanted to watch Justice League. I just wanted to go to the cinema. Just wanted to clear my head. And I was sat there, and all the way through, all these, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot is obviously a very attractive woman. And these two children are sat next to me. I say children. They're about 10. It was like they're a bit older. They were on their own. It was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to the cinema. But and every time she came on, and like I remember particularly like Ben Affleck as Batman says, and they're like, hey, do you want to go get some lunch later or something? And then he was like, yeah, I'd go get lunch with her. Yeah. Oh, she's so fit. Oh, yeah. And then I just went, excuse me, could you please be quiet? and they didn't talk for the rest of the film.
Oh, brilliant.
The film was terrible anyway. And it was like there were 5 people in the audience who were laughing like bloody hyenas because, oh yeah, Flash. Oh, I love Flash. I'm going to get him on the screen. Not Flash. Is he called
It does
Flash?
sound like The Flash.
The Flash, yes. No, for the moment there, I just thought, have I completely got that wrong? Is he called like Speed Boy? What's he called in Incredibles? Dash.
Dash.
Yeah.
I love The Incredibles.
What's your worst cinema experience, Will?
It was Christmas Eve, 2019.
Yeah, like a funny one. Don't be like, oh yeah, my dad. I was involved in my dad's death.
I mean, I'm quite insulted that you didn't cotton on that's the date, but we went to see Cats.
Oh.
But
yes,
I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. No, I think the worst. Oh, let's have a think. Traumatic wise, I would say, I was. When did it come out? Hold on.
What's the film? Go on, test me.
Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
2007.
5. So on the way back from, I think like a caravanning holiday, something by the seaside, we stopped for a My dad decided, oh, you know what? We love Aardman films as a family. We do. They're great. Let's stop off at the cinema on the way back home and watch the new Wallace and Gromit movie. This is a nice surprise. I was 5 at the time. Yeah,
you're same as me, are you? 2000.
Yeah. And so not the first transformation scene, but the second one where he's carrying behind the door and he's like, his teeth are popping out one by one. That was the most terrifying thing I'd ever seen. I had a full-on screaming, crying fit, and I had to be dragged out of the cinema, and we had to go home.
See, I was numb to it all. I watched like American Werewolf in London transformation quite young, so alas. Yes, no. Anyway, back to... Oh, go on.
I'll tell you what, just one more. I'd say a bad experience at the cinema is whenever you just see like a strange man at the back corner seat, like a suspicious bag or anything like that.
Oh, well. I've got one. Joker in America.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. So first time, it was first time I watched it opening weekend, and it was full. The place was packed. And so it was a bit nervous, and I had two girlfriends. No. Ooh, look at me, I've got a harem. And, Emma and Abby. And they left. Like the first... Did you watch Joker?
Yeah.
The first gunshot in the subway car. Not subway, overground train.
Yeah.
Where he kills the 3 guys. And they just got up and left. They were like, I look forward to watching this movie, like, on my at home, but like and I was quite scared, because watching in cinema at Wakefield, there's not really a threat. It's and then but it was the second time. Oh my God! So it'd been out for 2 weeks or whatever, and again I was a bit depressed or whatever. So I was like, I'll go catch a film in the day and watch Joker, to cheer me up. And I was watching it, and then there was this guy behind me, the direct seat behind me. And the big, Murray, you know what you get? People walk all over people. Everything's bad. And he knew every word, and he was saying them all behind me, and I was shaking. And then I thought, right, first person who's going to kill is obviously me, because I'm sat in front, so it's going to be bang. And he was like, do you know what you get? You get what you deserve. And he was, I thought, Jesus. And then I got up and I watched the rest of the film, stood at the door. Yeah, so that was a bad one.
I mean, surely people would have been more terrified of you.
Getting up and leaving.
That happens, a strange man getting up, just lingering by the door for the rest of the film.
Because there was one as well. There was another guy at the front. It's like, do people not understand what you are giving off an impression of? Like, he got up, looked about at all of us. He was on the front row. He got up, looked about.
Oh, no.
Then he left. I thought, shit, this is terrifying.
Just a second, you.
Stay away from me. Let go. Let go of me. Stay away from me. Let go. Let go of me.
Now save the phony tears.
Just get back.
Oh, you little fool.
You just stay away from me.
No good, sir. You can't get involved in this.
Right, we're back.
Yes, we are. Okay, and North by Northwest. Thomas Ridley's specific favourite parts of the film. We talked about the credits. I love Hitchcock's little timed cameo, so that it's got directed by Alfred Hitchcock and he misses the bus. You'll notice, obviously, in his later films, he was caught that he didn't want to stop doing the cameo because it had become a staple of the films. However, also, he didn't want to detract from the tension and the mood of the later films, which is why you'll get, with a lot of these later ones, Vertigo, it's in the fourth scene. This is in the opening credits. Psycho, it's very, very, very early on. It's, he gets it out of the way. Everybody has a good, oh, look, it's Alfred Hitchcock. And then you move on to the film proper. I love Cary Grant's drunk acting on his car ride. It's one hell of a feat. I wouldn't say it's necessarily naturalistic drunk acting. However, it's certainly good and enjoyable and fun to watch. I love in the elevator where the mother goes, "You boys aren't really trying to murder my son," and everybody suddenly breaks into a laughing fit. It's like a nightmare scene. It's like, ha, 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 and everybody's laughing. And then it just builds and builds, and then Cary Grant, ladies first. So good. I love the overhead shot leaving the United Nations after he didn't kill Townsend. What's it called? Leroy Townsend? L. Townsend.
L, yeah.
I love the no music Eve reveal where they just pass that little notes. What should I do with them in the morning? And then it's James and Martin, and they get the note. And the wrong hospital room where he comes in. Oh no! And then, and then he goes, hey. Will, your more general favourite parts of the film?
Yeah, again, I want to say that shot when he's leaving the UN building, that's my favourite shot of the whole film. That's incredible.
It's pretty good. We've got a similar one in Vertigo.
Yeah, well, that's really what Vertigo's about, though, isn't it? That's.
Oh, yes. Go on, what were you saying? Do I know how?
You know how he did it?
No, tell me.
Neither do I. That's why
you don't know. I presume it was. To me, it looked like a matte painting with a model moving on it. It's probably just a stop motion animation, some form of that. Anything else?
I like the whole Rushmore. Despite what I said earlier, it's a great climactic sort of. It's reminiscent of, not reminiscent because this came ages after, but the latest Mission Impossible movie when they're fighting at the top of that. And any climax where they're in a really high place having a fight, nothing wrong about that. That's great.
That wasn't very sporting of you using a real bullet.
Real bullet.
Well, we'll get
That's
to that
great.
actually in my change, but
Oh,
no,
no.
no. I think you'll agree. I know it. We'll get to it. Anything else?
I love Cary Grant's face when he's like, "Oh, I'm the wrong man." When the guy gets shot in the back, no, stabbed in the back, and he
Oh,
just,
yeah.
why? That's the thing. Why does he pull it out?
Because the man's been stabbed.
Yeah, you don't pull out. It makes it worse. He could have lived. He did kill a man.
Yeah, he should be. He should be persecuted. No, because he was grabbed the knife and then he's like falling. Probably because it's a retractable blade, Will, and he had to pull it out for the gag to work.
I like the first auction scene where he makes James Mason misses, and he's like, "Oh, you silly bugger." That's a great bit.
Yeah.
I think Cary Grant throughout this whole film is fantastic.
Cary Grant is excellent.
It's because I think Jimmy Stewart wanted to do it, didn't he?
Jimmy Stewart really wanted to do it. I've got that in a few fun facts. Yeah, Jimmy Stewart really wanted to do it. And then for Vertigo, Hitchcock blamed the failure of the film on James Stewart, saying he looked too old and that the film would have been an awful lot better with Cary Grant. I don't think that's true at all, but we will get to that on Vertigo. Because I think there is a Hitchcock film perfect for Cary Grant, and I think that is Notorious, and I think that is this, and I think that is To Catch a Thief.
Catch a Thief. That's great.
With the incredible Grace Kelly again. And I think there's a Hitchcock film that's perfect for James Stewart, and I think that is Rear Window. I think that is Vertigo, and I think that is Rope to an extent. And also I think Man Who Knew Too Much with Doris Day could be either. I think it works brilliantly with James Stewart as the sort of just regular husband, father, whose child...
Because that's what he does, isn't it?
Yes, he does.
That's what he does best.
Whereas I think if Cary Grant in Rear Window, again, would undoubtedly be pretty excellent, but it wouldn't have the sort of real feel of like, oh, this is just a sweaty, dirty, smelly man who's...
If Cary Grant are in Rear Window, you want him to hobble up on his feet, get the strength, and go knock him out across
managed to walk over. I managed to get up. Yes, no, excellent stuff. What category are we on, Will? We're on Oscar Travesty.
We are.
We are on Oscar Travesty. So this film, I believe, was nominated for 4 Oscars. Naturally winning none, as was the case with most of Hitchcock's endeavours. Best Motion Picture, a bit of a lacklustre year, I thought. Ben-Hur, you can undoubtedly say that Ben-Hur is an excellent film. However,
Some like it hot.
Well,
we're
going to get to this.
Yeah.
This is a travesty.
That's the travesty that year.
Yes, no. Ben-Hur, I've never been a big fan of. I love an epic. I love a long film. I adore Dr. Zhivago. I enjoy Lawrence of Arabia to a lesser extent. I think the plot and the romance pulls you through Dr. Zhivago a little bit easier and less laboriously. But I think, Dr. Zhivago... I love long films. I famously love intermissions in films. Ben-Hur. So for me, Ben-Hur is not the best film of the year. But I haven't seen The Nun Story. Word from my Audrey Hepburn loving ex said that it was pretty good, but we never got round to it. Anatomy of a Murder, however, incredible film. James Stewart, wonderful, directed by Otto Preminger, Lee Remick, scary. Ben Gazzara, very good courtroom film. Room at the Top, we've got to, be, I was going to say patriotic. Patriotic to our sort of Yorkshire roots.
Yeah.
With Room at the Top. And then Diary of Anne Frank, again, I haven't seen. So I won't pass comment. But North by Northwest and Some Like It Hot, good God, get them in there. What is happening there? Same with Best Director. I mean, where on earth is Hitchcock? That's a shambles. At least they got Billy in. For Some Like It Hot. I mean, Billy Wilder, incredible.
There's no appearance of Jack Lemmon anywhere, which is.
No, he's there.
Oh, you see that? Oh, thanks.
He's right there.
Oh, he's right there.
Yeah, Jack Lemmon nominated for Best Actor. I don't know. Would you get Cary Grant a nomination for Best Actor?
No,
because I think Charlton Heston. If we're talking about what Ben-Hur should be nominated for, I do think it's Best Director, and I do think it's Best Actor.
Yeah.
The Last Angry Man. I mean, is this the sequel to 12 Angry Men?
They all get killed.
Killed them all. I killed 11 of them. James Stewart in Anatomy of a Murder. I mean, I cannot argue with that. Best Actress, again, I don't know if either we'd give it to either. I like that Doris Day's in there for Pillow Talk. I'm a big fan of Pillow Talk. Very nice film. However, the winner should have undoubtedly be Katharine Hepburn for Suddenly Last Summer. An incredible Tennessee Williams adaptation. And actually, I think they've cocked up a bit here, because I think they should have nominated Elizabeth Taylor for Best Supporting Actress in Suddenly Last Summer, and I think she would have won.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Diary Van Frank, but I do love Shelley Winters, so who knows, maybe she's great as Petronella Van Damme. Imitation of Life, I'm a big fan of. I love Douglas Sirk. Imitation of Life's not my favourite Douglas Sirk film, but it's pretty good. And the wonderful Thelma Ritter from Rear Window, and her running gag in Pillow Talk is that she's just an alcoholic, and it's quite funny. Best Supporting Actor, yeah, this is where we need James Mason. We want James Mason in. I'm not getting rid of either of those Anatomy of a Murder ones. They're excellent. The Young Philadelphians, I
heard that.
I do love Paul Newman, though. I don't know. Oh, we can't give a film a nomination just of it's Paul Newman. Best Story and Screenplay, written directly for the screen. Here we are with a nomination for North by Northwest. Yeah, I do think it's a better script than Pillow Talk. I love Pillow Talk, but I do think that's a better script. Some Like It Hot, though, not winning is a shambles. I'd take Anatomy of a Murder over Room at the Top. Ben-Hur, I mean. And I believe the other nomination was for
Production design.
Art direction, colour. Oh, bloody hell. Best art direction. I mean, it is incredible sets. It looks like they're on Mount Rushmore. To an extent, obviously, you can tell a little. But
it's Ben-Hur wins that purely because it's a period piece.
Yeah.
And it's just
the sets are incredible.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can be angry at that one. I think we can be angry a little bit at Best Film Editing. I think this film is wickedly edited. The wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem. That's Oscar travesty. Will's favourite building or set. You've got a few nice ones here.
I've got, I'm only going to mention one because it is the best. I absolutely love the restaurant at Mount Rushmore.
The cafeteria.
Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's just like, it's a proper sort of wooden lodge with like long, big windows. I want to live there.
What about his house?
His house is nice, but that's my sort of building.
You're picking the cafeteria over his Mount Rushmore house?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's Will's favourite building. It's not mine. Best soundtrack titles. Let's have a go at some of these. If I go on The Right Thing, that might help. Here we are. Oh, bloody hell. Here we are. Abduction of George Kaplan, The Elevator, Murder at the United Nations, Conversation Piece, Crash of the Crop Duster, The Auction and the Airport, Cafeteria Shooting, Stalking Van Damme's House, The Matchbox. And that's it.
Pretty good.
The Auction and the Abduction. Best single minute. Why don't you take this one first?
There's two contenders for me. First one I'd say would be the shooting at the cafeteria.
Yeah.
That's a great scene.
Especially when you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. You do not see that they're blanks and then the fact that she suddenly pulls the gun out. That's whoa.
Did you notice the little boy?
No.
There's a little boy in the background. It's a famous film, Guffwell, because obviously they filmed a few takes. There's a little boy in the background who covers his ears after she says the line that's directly before the blank, because he clearly didn't want to hear the gunshot again. So he's like, it's very funny.
But I think that I do very much like the second auction when he's trying to bid. He's just saying, $8. Three.
Oh no,
that's great. That's great.
It's not worth any more. But Cary Grant's a little bit like my James Stewart. I don't really have a Cary Grant.
Is it? Do I not understand how auctions work? Can he do? I'm sure he can do that. He can just bid what he wants as long as it's higher.
Yes, but he doesn't, does he? He says $13.
Yeah, but then he says 3,000.
No, because they're already on. Oh bloody hell! I'd have to watch it again. Yeah, no, you are understanding auctions, right, mate?
They're on 1,200.
I can't remember the exact point you're saying.
It's 1,200 that they're stuck on, and it's like, 2,000.
Oh, yes, you can do that, but it's like sporting, and that you should do the as it goes. And if you go into, I think some auctions do have allotted jumps, which is a term I've just made up. But like, you can't just jump 1,700. I do believe that. Well, I mean, I don't believe. I know nothing. Any other best single minutes?
They're my two standout ones.
Yeah, I've got the initial train dinner with enough innuendos to fill a small pantomime.
That I'm going to bed, but I'm not really enjoying my book. Do you know what I mean? And then he just pauses, like, let me think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
My fault. Sorry. He went that way. I think he got off.
All aboard! Thank you.
It's quite all right.
7 parking tickets.
Oh.
Yes, I do. Yes, please.
Yes, yeah. Well, you've got
that whole seduction scene when they go into the room. That's quite a
very erotic.
Yeah, very.
You've got a little dub, because when she says, I never discuss love on an empty stomach, that was changed later, because it's originally, I never make love on an empty stomach. And you can see her lips. So it's a bit of, well, on an empty. It's a bit of that. Yes, excellent lines. Which leads us on to my second favourite minute, which this might be the first time my favourite single minute is also in my change. But the final train, and when he pulls her up and they're kissing on the bed, and the filthiest ending ever shot with the train going into the tunnel. Pure filth. You dirty old
Hitchcock
man.
loved that, did he?
You dirty old man. And I thought that if the train went into the tunnel, then it would be like the phallus going into the vagina. True. They're my two. Best line. Here are a few. Something wrong with your eyes? Yes, sir. Sensitive to questions. What happened with your first two divorces? My wife's divorced me. Why? They said I led too dull a life.
That's like great.
Because it's funny because he's now.
He's an action man.
Yes, he's now on there. That wasn't very sporting using real bullets. No, mother, I have not been drinking. No, these two men, they poured a whole bottle of bourbon into me. No, they didn't give me a chaser. It's going to be a long night. True. And I don't particularly like the book I've started. You know what I mean? Let me think. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. How do we know it's not a fake? It looks like a fake. Well, one thing we know, you're no fake. You are a genuine idiot. I didn't realize you're an art collector. I thought you just collected corpses. War is hell, Mr. Thornhill, even if it's a cold one. Which leads us into Judy in a couple of weeks, where she goes, I miss the Cold War. And the wonderful Casino Royale upcoming episode. Will, best line.
I think, well, two of them are from that. You've already said one on the train, the whole book. I also like when they're in the woods just after running, and he's like, men don't believe in marriage. He says, what do you mean? I've had two wives. Yes, exactly. That's a great one. But I also love it's a filthy innuendo. The bit where I never discuss love on an empty stomach. It's like, you've already eaten, but you haven't. That's It's very filthy.
Startlingly erotic would be the term.
I like another standout one. The when they're hanging off Rushmore, and he's like, when we get out of this, you can ride the train with me again. Is that a proposition? It's a proposal, sweetie. Aww. That's great.
Bad timing, Roger. You're quite in dangerous territory. And save the witty remarks for a little later. Anything else?
That's it.
What's the change? Have you got any?
Yes, it's the ending.
This is what I was going to say. Far too quick.
Thank you, Sergeant. That wasn't very sporting, using real bullets. Here, reach. Now. Come on, I've got you. Up.
I can't make it.
Yes, you can. Come on.
Yeah, no, that's exact. I love the fact that the transition between him pulling her up and then he's pulling her. Oh, that's great. And
everything's
it shows they've been acting out.
Quick.
But then I want to see them escape.
Come along, Mrs. Thornhill.
Oh, Roger, this is silly.
I know, but I'm sentimental.
I want to see them get off, and then even if we don't, pull up, have a little chat. When he pulls her up, boom, credits, done. That's it.
Yeah. And also, they rush the police coming to get James Mason.
Yeah.
And then they shoot Martin Landau. That wasn't sporting using real bullets. Bang! Back down to Martin Landau. Martin Landau falling, dropping the microfilm. Yeah. I like again that we have no idea what this microfilm is, and that because we wouldn't. But also the sound editing, his voice changes very drastically. It's, come on, I've got you. Come on, I'll pull you up. Come on, Miss Thornhill. And it changes, like it's a different volume. It's clearly a different place. And then he pulls her up onto the bed. And then it's startlingly quick. And it's only the sex gag that
saves it,
redeems the ending.
I'm very happy there that we both spotted the same thing.
This is my same with Vertigo, actually. I think the ending of Vertigo is stunningly rushed for a film that is 2 hours and 12 and feels like 3 hours in the best way. I'm not saying that as a criticism. I think the languid nature of it and the dreamlike state is marvelous. However, that final ending is like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Come on, Alfie. Just give us a chance to breathe.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. Any other changes?
No, it's an enjoyable.
Oh, it's an incredible film. Terrible kiss. Another what is with all these terrible kisses?
Oh, yeah. When
They
on the train.
They
on
kiss,
the train.
and then
The first time round,
they just stay.
They shoot it from the back of Cary's head. It looks like they're pretending, and he's not even touching her lips.
And then,
and then he's like, "Ah."
It's very odd.
It's a very it's a bad kiss.
Nitpick more than just some sunglasses, Roger. Come on, we can do better than that. Same suit. I know. I do appreciate that, because one of my problems with The Fugitive is that he just changes clothes. Manages to find so many people that fit his clothes. So in a way, I do like that he's wearing the same suit this whole time. However, also...
No, you'd think he changes it after he throws himself onto a very dirty floor with a crop duster bit.
Yeah, well, it gets sponged down, doesn't it? That'd be a funny ending if he passed out because of the poison that's been poured on him from the crop duster. What's left from Will's nose?
I've mentioned all of my points.
Oh.
I think if I could say, it's for people that haven't seen it, it mixes my two favourite things, which are, well, not favourite things, but things I adore.
Murder and women.
Hitchcock and Bond.
Bond.
It's very, this is Hitchcock's sort of offering to what would become Bond. It's
yes, many people do refer to it as the first Bond film.
Yeah.
And I don't think that sort of comment is misplaced.
No.
And my wonderful film studies teacher always used to say that this was his favourite Bond film. He couldn't get behind a lot of the Bonds. And I don't blame him in many ways. I think in a way, well, we'll get to Casino Royale, but that is my favourite Bond. My dad has the theory that that's because everybody's favourite Bond is who they grew up on.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's true.
No, because a lot of my favourites are...
Yeah, I'm a very objective sort of
Live and Let Die.
Yeah. He's great. Yeah, no, I remember ITV2, I think it was for before Quantum of Solace or something, and they showed one every Sunday. And
Quantum of Solace.
Oh, no, Quantum of Solace. Is Quantum of Solace actually that bad? Because I sort of had this after rewatching Casino Royale. I don't know. We'll just have the conversation now because we've got
Quantum of Solace feels just like a flashback of Casino Royale. That's all it is.
Because after watching Casino Royale again, I was like, have I missed something here? Should I? Is Quantum of Solace? Has Quantum of Solace been shit on a little bit? Because I do fancy rewatching it. But then I was like, no, probably not.
I think it's got major pacing issues. I think their main problem was the fact that they couldn't use Spectre. They didn't have the rights to Blofeld or Spectre at that point, so they had to then... Well, it was kind of they rebooted the series, didn't they, with Craig? But with Royale and Quantum and Skyfall, they weren't allowed to... And that's why in Spectre you've got, I was behind all of those.
I like Spectre. Well, I'm sure we'll get to that on, maybe more so on the Skyfall episode, eventually.
I mean, Skyfall's my favourite Bond.
Yeah.
Casino Royale, a close second.
And Mark Kermode's. You and Mark Kermode are in the same Kermode. Do you know, well, he says it's a tie. Do you know what it's a tie with, the other one?
Doctor No.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Really?
Which is also Christopher Nolan's favourite Bond.
Is it?
Yeah. Because...
Is that the George Lazenby one?
That's the George Lazenby one. Yeah.
I don't like... like that one.
Louis Armstrong. We have all the time in the world. It's an interesting one.
That's the one with the nuns.
That's the one
on
with
the snowy sort of, yeah. No,
it's the one
not
where
a fan at all.
It's interesting because it's got Diana Rigg dying. And that was obviously a big shock when it comes to sort of 60s Bond films. If you've watched those first 5 and you're like, wait a minute, Diana Rigg's just been killed. Wait a minute. The wonderful Diana Rigg, who you will see in Theatre of Blood, which again I'm very excited for you to see, because I have no doubt that will be one. Well, no, I'm not going to big it up, but I think that will just be one of your new favourite films. But we will get to it. What category are we on? Oh, it's my notes. These are the exact sort of movies that give me anxiety. I love them. I just don't like them. When people are like made out to be lying or something, like when he goes back to the Townsend mansion and all of the books are there instead of the liquor and everything's changed, I was just like, oh no, I don't like this at all. And I know that's the film, but it's just like, no, there should be things there. I don't like it. The pronunciation of the word Mercedes rather, and then the wife comes in. Oh, on your Mercedes, and then it's as if Roger's trying to mock her, but he doesn't do it fully. So it just sounds like Cary Grant's getting it wrong too. And he goes, "No, I wasn't driving in my Mercedes."
He's just doing an impression of James.
Yeah, James.
I can't do an impression.
Quite good. Man's you got to lean into the drunken element. Lolita, don't be like that, Lolita. It's my James Mason in Lolita impression.
Did Steve and did they do it on the trip? I'm sure they did it on the trip. They must have done Mason. Yeah,
probably. I mean, they did everybody else on the trip.
Few people more than others.
They do. They do a great Woody, which I mean, we'll get to it. It's inevitable, and that's a big word. And people like to use big words, and sometimes they frighten me, like circumcision and the legality. These are the sort of words that I just don't like. Get ready. You think my Hitchcock's annoying?
Oh no!
We've got six episodes booked for Woody Allen.
I put up with it during A levels. I'm going to put my foot down.
Oh, what a great man! And we'll get to it. Charade. Have you watched Charade,
yes.
Will?
I haven't, but I hear it's a very, very, very good Cary Grant movie.
It's wonderful. It's famously the Hitchcock film that Hitchcock never made, which I think is a little bit patronising to the wonderful direction of Stanley Donen in the film. I mean, in many ways, it is obviously very reminiscent of those Hitchcock, False Identity and all that. Again, the beautiful, the incredible Audrey Hepburn is the lead. In one of my screenplays, Will, The Day That America Died, the loving couple, well, they're not a loving couple, it's adultery, but anyway, and he takes her on a date to watch Charade, because it's the weekend of the 11th of November 1963. What happened, Will, on the 11th of November 1963?
Charade came out in 1963.
That's correct, Will. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The assassination of JFK was not what I was referring to at all.
No, that's 69.
No, it's not, Will. It's 11/22/63.
Is it?
I mean, yeah, sorry, I meant the 22nd of November, not the 11th of November. It's these bloody American days. 69? That's Nixon.
I thought you... Oh, So that's Apollo. I do apologise to all of those Americans that watch this
All
channel.
those JFK devotees, including Ava. If she's watching this episode, she will now unsubscribe. Previous guest, Ava Robinson. Charade's marvellous, a wonderful Walter Matthau turn. A personal favourite, I believe, of previous guest Amelia Bryant. I believe that she loves that, or at least she loves... No, we've definitely quoted that final scene where Audrey Hepburn goes, there's a lot of false identity, and she just goes, oh, I don't care who you are, whether it's Will, Tom, or Roger, or George. It's very good.
That's me and you.
No, I know, that's because I was just making up names.
Oh.
I'm good, but I'm not that good. D.B. Cooper. Do you know about D.B. Cooper, Will?
I do not, Tom.
One of the only successful air heists of all time. Again, the subject of another one of my screenplays. His disguise, well, it wasn't really a disguise, but he hijacked a plane in 1969. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. And he wore a suit and sunglasses. So some people suspect that this was not as a reference to, but influenced by Roger in North by Northwest. Something a little bit interesting. It's time for a few fun facts. While filming Vertigo, Alfred Hitchcock described some of the plot of this project to frequent Hitchcock leading man James Stewart, who naturally assumed that Hitchcock was telling him all this to cast him as Roger, and became eager to play the role. Actually, Hitchcock wanted Cary Grant to play the role. By the time that Hitchcock realised the misunderstanding, Stewart was so anxious to play Thornhill that rejecting him would have caused a great deal of disappointment. So Hitchcock delayed production on this movie until Stewart was safely committed to filming Anatomy of a Murder before officially offering him the role in the movie. Stewart had no choice. He had to turn down the offer, allowing Hitchcock to use Grant, the man he wanted all along.
I bet he wasn't happy, was he?
No. While on location on Mount Rushmore, Eva Marie Saint discovered that Cary Grant would charge fans 15 cents for an autograph.
How much is that nowadays?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, you shouldn't ask me this.
I put you on the spot there.
Right, let's do... Okay, we'll do it live. So 19... What is this? 90 currency calculator.
Oh, wow. That exists.
Yes, I do. Yeah, no, this is fun, yeah. So 50 cents is 15 cents, so that'd be 0.15 in American dollar. In the Jesus H Christ. Why is it down as Australian dollar? There's no American dollar on this. What would it be down as? The United States of America dollar? United States dollar, yeah, that's correct. Okay, so 15 cents into English pound. Oh, for chuff's sake, there is no English pound either. What would it be down as? The British pound? Bitcoin? Pound sterling, that'll be what it's down as, won't it? This is thrilling. Yeah, pound sterling. So it's 12. So it's 12 pence over time. So now, I mean, it'll be slightly off. Continue. Oh my God. Oh Jesus, what is this? Managing with employment law. No, it's giving me how to pay employees. $1, right. A pound. $1 worth in 1959. Calculating the value of $1 in 1959. And I get, there we go. 0.15 from 1915 to the year 2000. It would have, not from 2019. 1958. 1959. Right. Oh. So that's $1, but I don't want $1, do I, you bloody idiots? I want 15 cents. All right, keeps changing it. Right, so $1 would have been $8. So that means that 15 cents would have been...
Well, that's like a sixth.
Oh.
That's like £2.50. It's like £3.
I've got the YouTube subscriber count here. It just keeps going down.
I think all the way during that, we need the THX sort of and like a slow zoom. You can have a slow. To put that in you the can edit. Have a slow zoom. You know, I don't know that. I don't have the THX. Here we are. The more fun facts. If that wasn't fun enough, Cary Grant found the screenplay baffling, and midway through filming told Sir Alfred Hitchcock, "It's a terrible script. We've already done a third of the film, and I can't make neither head or tail of it." And Hitchcock knew that the confusion would only help the film because it would enhance Cary's performance. Alfred Hitchcock had planned a sequence where Roger Thornhill hid in Lincoln's nose and had a sneezing fit. Park officials would not allow this to be filmed, but Hitchcock tried and tried again. Finally, someone asked Hitchcock how he would feel if it were the other way around, and Lincoln was having a sneezing fit in Cary Grant's nose. Hitchcock immediately understood, and the scene was never filmed. However, the working title of the film was The Man in Lincoln's Nose. James Mason suffered a severe heart attack shortly after filming ended. Didn't die. I love James Mason. He trained to be an architect at
Did
Cambridge. He did. And then as soon as he was qualified, he thought, I'm going to become an actor, which is what I'm going to do.
Well, there we go. One day, Martin Landau noticed that Sir Alfred Hitchcock was giving instructions to Cary Grant, James Mason, and Eva Marie Saint. When he asked Hitchcock about this, Hitchcock basically said if he didn't talk to actors and actresses, they were doing fine. When he talked to them, it was because they were doing something wrong. So Martin Landau's in the good books. Hitchcock's dead. And Martin Landau died the other year.
Oh.
It's very upsetting. In numerous interviews, Martin Landau said that he made a decision on his own to play the character of Leonard as gay and in love with James Mason. In 2012, Martin Landau said that he was cast in the movie when Alfred Hitchcock saw him in the play Middle of the Night. I played a very macho guy 180 degrees from Leonard, who I chose to play as a homosexual, very subtly, because he wanted to get rid of Eva Marie Saint with such a vengeance. James Mason, to the day he died, he became a friend of mine. The most often asked question of James was whether Van Damme, his character, was bisexual. He said, no, he wasn't, but Landau made a choice, and there's nothing I can do about it. I actually caused him some grief. Everyone told me to do that because it was my first big movie, and people would think I was gay. I'm an actor, I said. It wasn't going to be my last movie, and it certainly wasn't. I've never played a character like that since. I also felt it was something people would know or not know. It was very subtle, I thought. Landau also said that after he made the decision to make Leonard gay, Hitchcock and screenwriter Ernest Lehman were very supportive of the idea. And Lehman added the line, maybe it's my woman's intuition. Yeah, it's maybe a bit dicky, but...
Very subtle.
Yeah. Among the problems that the production code faced with the movie was the effeminacy of the henchman Leonard. Other fun facts. Sir Alfred Hitchcock wanted Grace Kelly, even though she was Princess of Monaco at the time. Alfred Hitchcock came up with the ending innuendo of the train entering the tunnel. He considered it one of his finest, naughtiest achievements. Ernest Lehman's screenplay just ended with "the train heads off into the distance," or words to that effect. There's no way I can take credit for the tunnel, Lehman said, adding, damn it. And finally, as I've said, Eve Marie Scott had to redub the line of I never discuss love on an empty stomach. which was originally. What's next? I haven't got my sheet up. What's next? Not based on a book. There's no alternate ending. A few fun facts. Tom's big question. Where are we putting Grant in our best male leads? Hitchcock.
Of all time?
Hitchcock.
Oh,
male
Hitchcock.
leads. Are we putting him above Stewart or below?
No, he's number 2 to Stewart for me.
Yeah.
Purely because I think Stewart's the more iconic Hitchcock actor, and he's in my favourite Hitchcock movie.
Yeah.
And I think but like Hitchcock sort of writes the movie for the actor.
Yeah.
I do think this is a lot better without Jimmy.
Yeah. Synopsis for sequel. Do we think that Roger and Eve? Oh, sorry. Go on.
I want a whole series of these. I want this to become like Bond. I want Cary Grant in all of these action movies.
Does that take away the thing of it being genuine chance?
No, I think that this is a great sort of origin story, and then after this, he becomes part of the Secret Service, and then goes on to follow all these adventures. I like that.
Yeah. Do you think Hitchcock would make a sequel?
Yes, I think he would do a sequel. I mean, he wouldn't because he's dead.
Dead, yeah. Everybody's very dead. And we are talking about, because he never did. I'm trying to go through my head before I step in shit, but he never did. I'm going to say that. Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't. And now I'm thinking of the films that did have sequels, and Psycho 2. Psycho 2, which is excellent, but that was after Hitchcock's death, or just, I believe he was rather dismissive of it actually. I think he died after. I don't know. I'm bullshitting now. So I don't know if he would actually be up for that idea.
No, I think he's pretty dismissive because someone else took his child and decided to make another film out of his name.
But I think an adoring film. Well, we'll touch on Psycho 2. I feel. I don't know if it needs its own episode, but I love Psycho 2, and we'll talk about it in Psycho
with Lucy.
With Lucy, our finale queen. Is that her new name? So I think you're spot on there. Yeah, I'd love a series of those. Here's my question: is the crop duster scene secretly bad?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But also, I don't think it's. It is excellent.
Yeah.
But also,
are you trying to say not much happens?
No, because it's not. Because I think I prefer the build-up of the 6 minutes beforehand or whatever, where genuinely nothing happens, and it's that guy pulling up, and then he goes, "Funny, there's dusting where there ain't no crops." That's one of my favourite lines in the film. I know we didn't mention it in best line because it's not like, it's funny to quote or whatever. But that is one of my secret favourite lines because it is such a brilliant setup.
That is the beauty of the scene. It's flat, and all of a sudden, literally just explodes into action. You've got the tanker.
I love the tankard. I love the final tankard payoff. I think somewhere. So I don't know how to describe it, but I do think in some way, it's I can't describe it. No, but I think you are spot on regarding sequels. Closing line Hall of Fame. I know, but I'm spent.
Cut to.
What does that say? I can't even read my people talk about my handwriting.
It's very bad, Tom. Your handwriting.
I know.
Do you only write in capital letters as well?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know, but I'm sent. Is it spent or sent? I know, but I'm sent.
That's Austin Powers.
Right, let's find out what I wrote down. And I'm spent. North by Northwest closing line. North by Northwest closing. Why hasn't somebody made like a what do you call it?
Meme?
Like a what? No, not a meme. No, I can't find it. But I know, but I'm sentimental. Sentimental. Oh. I know, but I'm spent and mental. I'm a catch. I know, but I'm sentimental. See, that's another weird thing with my handwriting. Like, there is far too big a space between the T and the I that I thought it was two different words. Sentimental. Alas. There we go. Great closing line now that we eventually get around to it. Better closing gag. Next up, something far darker in the Hitchcock canon. Deeply, what I'd say one of the most perverted films of all time, and my favourite Hitchcock. Vertigo. Incredible.
Excellent piece of movie.
58, 1958. But we'll get to that on the next episode. Any last thoughts, Will, on North by Northwest?
The scene where the guy gets stabbed in the back is very reminiscent of the opening to Airplane. I can only think about that every time I watch it, and it kind of ruins the experience for me. But does it? It makes it better. It's that, but it's also the loudspeaker. It's like, Mister, and the whole argument. Yeah, it's great, fantastic movie. I love Cary Grant.
I think your Hitchcock ranking hasn't changed on this rewatch, but I really think mine has.
What, it's gone up or down?
No, I just mean my whole top five. I said this is still my top five, but I think it's really jumbled. I don't think, because I think it used to be Strangers, Vertigo, Psycho, Rear Window, North by Northwest, but it's really mixed up now. This has got higher.
Hey.
Psycho's got a lot higher for me.
Yeah.
Well,
but
no.
I'm glad I'm changing. I'm pushing thoughts into your head.
Me for the better way.
Great.
Such as you'll be changed for the better when you finally watch Woody Allen movies. The thing is, you know what? The thing is, I know that you. Well, I don't want to big it up anymore because you might.
I completely agree.
I might be wrong, but I
completely agree. I'm gonna love them. I'm gonna love everything about it.
I can see it. But we're not talking about Woody Allen. We've got Meryl Streep to get through. It's not going to be a chore. It's not going to be a chore to talk about the incomparable Meryl Streep.
If only she could sing.
It's Aphrodite.
Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba.